All right, so Anthem. We've got to play the demo this weekend. We had several hours in it now. We've managed to make it through the three pieces of play that they had available to us. The mission triple threat, which ended up being three connected missions. We made it through free play, where we got to go out and experience some of the world events. We got to go through the stronghold, where we finished up fighting that gigantic scorpion creature from the previous videos. And that fight was long. It took a long time. It didn't help on that particular stronghold adventure that we went on. One of the guys was just, for lack of a better word, he was just along for the ride. And you've dealt with that in raids before, or in other strikes and stuff, playing Destiny and other games. But that's frustrating because that fight was much harder, as was the entry into that particular stronghold with the amount of scar that you had to overcome. Doing it with three instead of four became quite a pain. We actually wiped at one point on the entry point where we had to start over. But once we realized that, you know, we didn't need to continuously revive this guy, we did a little bit better. We managed to pick up. And that being said, the stronghold was, even at normal difficulty, was a challenge. It was fun. You had to keep moving. That's one of the things about this game that I really love, is you cannot just, well, I love it to a certain extent. I like to sit and take pot shots with sniper rifles, and that's not really a legit option most of the time. Because if you can see somebody, three of his friends can see you, and that seems to be the way the game works. It's like, if one creature starts taking fire, its friends start going after the origin of that fire. Um, so you might get a couple shots off, or if you're strong enough to stand and take it, you might get a few more, but you're inevitably going to be forced to move or forced to deal with stuff coming up to you. Um, we went into this particular demo with the intention of staying away from the, uh, and I'm going to do this. I want to keep wanting to call the javelins warframes or frames, because I spent too much time playing Warframe. But javelins, I went into this demo with the intention of not playing the Colossus, which is the javelin I want to main whenever the game goes live. That being said, prior to Friday, I didn't really have any interest playing the Storm javelin. Um, the idea of magic in technology, blah blah blah, it just didn't interest me much. It really just didn't interest me much. I thought, I'll play the Ranger and the Colossus as my two primaries, and the Interceptor was interesting. And during the demo, I would play the Interceptor just to see how the speed and the melee really worked against range and uh, tanking. I watched a video on Friday from, I believe it was your Anthem. I could be wrong. I'll check that and I'll put it in the notes down here later. Um, but man, it looked fun. It really did. And before I got to play the game, I wasn't sure how you would control the magic spheres that you drop on the bad guys, how you place them to force the magic down. And it turns out it's really fucking easy. It's, man, the biggest thing with that particular javelin is you got to stay off the ground. You can't be just running around like you do with the Ranger. You can, don't get me wrong, you can hover with the Ranger too, but the Storm can hover with no um, penalty most of the time to its jets, whereas the others can only hover for so long. The javelin, the Storm javelin, can stay up there for tons longer. Not to mention, while it's hovering, its shields are actually stronger. They take less damage than they would if you're on the ground or just running around. Um, so I watched this video and I thought, well, I'll give it a shot. I'll give it a shot. And when I got my first token to unlock a new javelin, I was like, well, we'll go ahead and try it. Yeah, I'm not so sure I'll be maining a Colossus at this point. I'm still planning on trying it, seeing how it feels. But man, after spending a little bit of time with that Storm, it felt better than the Ranger, which I really liked at first. Um, but man, some of the abilities are just it's it's a little beefier version of a wizard, you know, from something like um, Jesus, I have drawn a fucking blank. World of Warcraft. I'm sorry. It's a wizard from World of Warcraft, damage dealer. It's a glass cannon, although not quite as glassy from what I've heard. Again, I've not played the Interceptor yet. Not quite as glass cannon as the Interceptor is. Um, it doesn't take quite as much damage as the Ranger will, but it doesn't feel like it's going to fall apart as soon as you take a hit, any more than everything else does when you get hit by something big. If you're playing with those Gauss cannons that seem to ring a lot of the big areas, um, that those will take your shields out in a single shot sometimes, depending on the difficulty. But no, getting back to the discussion here, should you buy Anthem? Should you play it? I don't know if you should buy it. If you like Destiny, you owe it to yourself to give it a shot. The traversal, the movement, the flight. The only thing I will say about movement in this game is that movement underwater seemed difficult. It seemed difficult to find your bearings to get your heading straight. Flight, uh, using a controller, I didn't use mouse and keyboard. Using a controller, this game flies well. I mean, it is tight. The controls handle well. Evading while you're flying works exactly what like you want it to. At least that's been my experience, and that's the Ranger and the Storm. Um, Man, you angle in a direction, hit B, and he rolls. Or in the Storm, it just disappears and reappears. But it's exactly what you expect. Um, Evading in the game itself when you're on the ground fighting, evasion works well there as well. If you time it correctly, Gauss rifle shots hit you. Typically, you see Gauss and sniper rifles because there's a tracking beam, and then even the heat-seeking missiles will tell you, hey, there's lock on. Man, if you couldn't pay attention, and that's a big if, because there's always always when you're in something a lot going on, man. You might be getting pinged from three or four of those cannons or snipers or whatever it is, whatever's trying to reach out and touch you. So you've got to be mindful of that. You've got to keep an eye out. But realistically, it's a lot of fucking fun, and the gameplay, the movement system, aside from being underwater, um, man, it feels great. And even being underwater, the movement in and of itself isn't terrible. It was several times during the gameplay I got dropped in the water, um, and hit the bottom and had no idea where to go. It was a bearings issue more so than it was controls. Controls a little janky, because the momentum carries you farther in the water than it would in regular flight. And the controls are set up similarly to flight, but oftentimes figuring out where to go is the biggest problem underwater, uh, especially if you're dropped in from above and you drop in and you don't really know. Sometimes the markers, the display markers that tell you where you're going, don't always show up properly, or they don't show up quickly, and so you're just left kind of, how am I going? And I mean, you figure it out. Somebody figures it out. It seems like, um, somebody always figured it out, and you just get in, you do the train thing and you follow along, and that worked out well. And like I said, it didn't hamper my ability to get around. It certainly didn't, impede my process or anything. Given a little bit of time, I would have found it myself. So it's just one of those things that I think, I'm not sure what you would do, but it seems like something could be done better than what's being done. So, um, but yeah, that being said, man, I can't think of a reason not to recommend looter shooter guys play this game. Uh, Ultimately, it checks all the boxes for me. It's got gear that increases. Every time I pick something up, I've got new stuff. It's got the sci-fi theme, which is important to me. It may not be to everybody, but it is to me. And the story seems like it could be interesting. I mean, the concepts are interesting if you follow my meaning. Not having access to the story right now, it's hard to tell whether or not the execution of said story is as good as it seems like it could be. Hold judgment on that. So, um, oh, let's see what else. I think beyond that, uh, just the mechs, robots idea, the power suits, the mobile suits, those are big boxes for me on my list of things that I love to play, love that I'm interested in. So, should you play it? Yeah, if you can get into the demos and try it out. Like I said, bear in mind it's a month old and they've gone gold. A month after this, what you're going to play is. So after this build, uh, but it's worth checking out. It absolutely is worth checking out. And is it worth $60 if you're not sure? No, don't spend $60 if you're not sure. I mean, I've spent $60 on shit that I was like, I'm gonna love this. Holy crap, this is terrible. We all have. Anybody who's played video games for more than a couple of years has spent money on games that they didn't like after they got them home. It's like you spend 10 minutes playing it at home, you're like, damn, this isn't at all like I thought it was going to be. Or if you played the demo or rented it somewhere, and you're like, man, the best part of that was what I played. And we've had that with that and TV shows, where they show the best parts of the movie in the trailer. Um, but no, I don't think this. I don't think that's how this is going to go. I think this is going to be a fun game. I think it's a good game, and I'm looking forward to getting to play the full game when it comes out next month. And we are what, less than a month out? Yeah, the 22nd. So, and today's what, the 26th? Yeah. So we're less than a month away from getting to play Anthem full bore. Next weekend there's another demo weekend, an open demo weekend. I doubt I'm going to even bother trying to play Friday night again because, I mean, I considered taking off work Friday to play this week, and then I was like, you know what? Every demo, I mean, every beta, and that's what this is. I mean, I get that it's technically not. It's a demo because the game's already gone gold, and this is a previous build so people can get in and see it. And, all that notwithstanding, um, boy, the first day is always rough. You know, Inevitably, they always come in droves to play these games. And again, I get that Electronic Arts is who they are, the most hated company in gaming. They've got a hit here, though. It's just, can they cover the server and all that stuff for it? And they will. Even if like next weekend they don't. I mean, God, I hope they're anticipating more people trying to play the game next weekend than they did this weekend with that being an open. Hopefully, they'll have server capacity uh, fixed this week prior to going live with this thing on Friday night next week. And hopefully, they expand the live server capacity beyond that as well, because I understand that you don't want to buy a bunch of servers or server capacity. Like, you can buy it in like little buckets and shit, but you don't want to buy for a big bottleneck at the front whenever it's all going to, after a week or two, it's going to slide down. But you have to if you want the game to be successful, if you want the transition to live to be smooth and make people happy. You can't have shit like you had yesterday on Go Live weekend. Um, because people get frustrated, and it's not like a company like um, Rockstar, for example. Rockstar, for the most part, can get away with a lot of shit because they have goodwill with at least a good chunk of the community. You have no goodwill, EA. Do not fall prey to thinking that because people enjoyed the Anthem demo this weekend, that they will forgive you if you don't have server capacity, number one, on Friday of next week. Number two, on the 22nd of February. If you cannot uh, get a positive experience on day one of this biggest release of 2019 for you so far, man, they're going to be unkind to you. People will avoid your game out of spite, and just, I mean, just on principle, they will avoid it. So make this as smooth as possible. Make it as smooth as possible, and don't fuck us over on this, man. Anthem's a good game. It's a fun game. Don't fuck us over on back end support and services. Get your shit together before day one and make this game positive. That being said, we'll push off from EA because I kind of got away from where I wanted to go. The last thing I want to say about Anthem is this. If you're not sure, do your best to get into the open demo next weekend. You will be, I think, pleasantly surprised that the gameplay is it's good. It's fun. It can be challenging. It's not the walk in the park that a lot of people said it looked like, because it did. It did look like that. Um, Man, the enemies are bullet spongy, and maybe they will be a little bit different whenever the game comes out. I don't know. We'll see. But bottom line is, give it a chance. It's worth your time. It's worth a look. If you enjoyed Destiny or Diablo or any of those games at all, give it a shot. It's worth playing. And paper dolls. Paper dolls, man. They're so pretty. They're so beautiful. So much you can do with your character. And I understand the vanity shop is going to be vastly different than what we're seeing right now. I've heard, a full set of armor being 40,000 coins. And right now it's 25 per piece at the moment, which is legs, arms, chest, and head. So that's 100 coins to completely change the look of your javelin within a given class. And every class has multiple. I don't want to call them skins because skins typically denote just coloration, whereas these are actual changes to the model. Um, so you can, and of course, you can pick and choose the different ones that are full sets. And we're getting what Angie and I got was the Legion of Dawn edition, so we're going to get the skins for the Legion of Dawn. But we still don't know exactly what the pricing is going to be on the cash shop. We still don't know really what the difference is between shards and coins. During the demo, and I don't know if this is what it's going to be during the live game, you can earn coins through gameplay. Typically, you find them in chests and stuff like that. That's been where I've gotten them. That I think I can remember is in a chest. But we'll see. We'll see. I love to change the looks of things. I like to play with the paint. I love to do all that stuff because I like my character to be my character. I like it to be personalized. And I think I got that from the demo even. I got my ranger and I got my storm looking pretty much how I want. There are a couple things I would like to do with the storm still. But I haven't. I ran out of coin. I'm sorry. I ran out of coin. So next time. I actually spent about 125. Finished about 125, or spent about 125 coins because I earned some through gameplay, and man, it was a blast. So go try it if you can. If they can fix the issues with my friend codes, I'll throw some out there on my Twitter. Right now, I still can't get access to them. I still don't see them. Every time I go there, it says you've not played the beta yet, and I obviously have, as the stream earlier shows, as all my pictures on Twitter do. Sorry, getting updates from the wife. Anyway, we're going to close the video on that note. You guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy it. I'll get this put together here in a little bit. We'll get it uploaded to the YouTube channel, and we will send it on its way. You guys have a great weekend. I am out for a bit. I don't know if I'm going to play any more tonight or not, but either way, have a great night.